Hello everybody, I am Flammenwerfer, and this is the second entry in my Zombies Reimagined series, where I take a look at old zombie maps and give them a new cosmetic feel, similar to Studio and Fire and Range in Black Ops 2. In this video, I'm going to be looking at Shi No Numa. Now, when I first saw the Shi No Numa, I pretty much had a blank at first. It seemed like, what can I really do to make this different than what it already is? The water is definitely a main thing in it. The swampy water just makes you go much slower when you're walking in it. And I thought, well, what else can do that? And then hit me, snow. So, the main part of this is that Shi No Numa is no longer a swampy Japanese military base, but it is now an Arctic snow base. Yeah. So, now this is how it's going to go. Now, where you spawn, the main room, that main building, it is now a laboratory. And that's basically the main gist for that one. It's, you spawn in, there's a laboratory, there's control panels everywhere. The windows don't lead outside anymore, but just lead to other parts of the building that you can't access. And that's where the zombies come in from. Now, when you go downstairs into the floor room, the floor area, of the entire main building, you know, where the mystery box is and where the entrance is for everything is, there is no outside part where the flogger area is. Instead, that's just still a main building. That's part of the main building, and that's it. And there's a big door that's leading off to the fishing hut that I'll get to in a second. So, the main building is just, again, still more labs. Now, the main floor area is just regular lab. The upstairs area is like animal testing labs, things like that, you know, studying the animals in the Arctic, like polar bears, or any other animal you can find in the Arctic, sorry. So, that's the main gist of the main building. Now, there is no more flogger. It is now just a laser trap. And again, you have to open up the area. But instead, it is now a metal steel door that as soon as you open it, then you can use the flogger area and all that. Now, and also the mystery box, there is no light anymore. It's they use the same little TVs that you see in 5 and Ascension to let you know where the box is. So now let's get on to the next part, which is the pathways, you know, going from the main building to the 4 huts. Now, those are closed off now, kind of. Like, they're not in the open anymore. Just think like a smaller version of the tunnels you see in Moon. You know, like blue tunnels, except it's not all blue, it's just regular lighting. And then wherever it leads off into the water, which is now heavy snow, that's just the little tunnel being blown open. And, you know, it's blizzarding outside, so there's going to be some snow coming in and all that. So just try to picture that. It's just, the pathways are now just big tunnels, and wherever it branches off into the water area, or the snow area now, those are just blown open, blown right open. And that's the main thing for the pathways. So now the first hut we're going to be looking at is the fishing hut. Now, it's no longer a fishing hut. It is the barracks, or the sleeping quarters, you know, where the scientists, the soldiers, whoever's there is sleeping. Now, it's a large building instead of just a little hut. However, it has the same limitations that you had in Shi No Numa. So you can't access all the building. You can only access the same area that you could access in Shi No Numa, except you see more of it. So, in the background, like through the windows, you can see beds, bunk beds, sleeping areas, all that stuff. So you basically see rooms, hallways, all that. And then in the little caged off area that goes outside, that is leading into the kitchen and dining area. However, it's still closed off, but the zombies come in through over there. Alright, now the next room we're going to be looking at is the comm room. Now, it's still going to be functioning as a comm room, but it looks much more futuristic. It's a slightly bigger building than before. However, it's still fairly small in comparison to the other buildings. And again, it still has the same limitations. Now there's satellites in the roof, and inside you see all these computers and control panels, and then the zombies just enter in through blasted walls leading outside. Now the next room we're going to be looking at is the doctor's quarters. It's now just not doctor's quarters anymore, it's a full-on medical bay. It's a much larger building than before, with again the same limitations as it was in Shi No Numa. The main room is basically a waiting area. You know, that's where you wait and then you just sit until it's time to get looked at. Now, the smaller room off to the side is now an office. And you can see rows of cots, medical areas, medical little rooms like that through the windows at the back, at the far end of the main room. And then where the mystery box is, behind it is no longer just a wall, but it is a caved-in roof, which implies that there's much more building behind it, like it's a hallway. Now, zombies coming in through the office are coming in through just the same part of that hallway. And then, of course, the left area is just leading to a storage room for some medical supplies. And now the zip line outside does not look like it was there in the beginning. It looks like it was crudely constructed, you know, made after the initial zombie attacks just for quick passage through the main laboratory to the doctor's quarters, which is now a medical bay. Alright, and then the final hut we're going to be looking at is the storage hut. And basically it's still a storage facility, except it looks much more glossier, much more futuristic, much more modern, basically. It looks like a miniature lab, except it's just much more darker, and has a lot of lab supplies, boxes, crates, any of that storage stuff. And it's about the same size as the hut before, because the hut in Shi No Numa was much bigger, and basically it's all just a storage area. So it's not that big, but it's still around the same size as Shi No Numa, and of course has the same limitations. And one more thing to add in is that the Pack-a-Punch is added to this map. And the Pack-a-Punch is located in that little indentation in the main room at the floor building between the storage hut pathway and the doctor's medical bay pathway. I hope you know what I'm talking about. But it doesn't activate until you open up all of the doors, all the pathways, all that, like in the iOS version of the map. And that's basically all I have to say about that. So Shi No Numa no longer a swamp base, but now more or less it is an Arctic base. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. So tune in next time where I take a look at Der Reese and what super strange idea I have for that one. Alright, see ya.